All right, you guys ready for assignment number 3, end of week 3? This is a big one. So remember I said I would show you how to either build Twitter or Pinterest or Reddit or whatever you want to do? Well, that's actually the challenge that I have for you today. I want you to turn this into one of those based on what we've learned so far. Now, I know that seems kind of crazy because I just showed you how to set up tweets and how tweets belong to users. But I want you to realize that tweets could be anything we want them to be. They could be pins, they could be stories. This is probably going to take a little bit of a stretch in your imagination to think about how can I take the structure of what I've given you guys today, and I want you to really think hard about this, and how could I turn it into whatever kind of resource my app actually needs in order for me to build something that I want to build. So in the case of a pin, for example, a pin is going to look exactly like a tweet. In fact, it's just going to have content. It's going to have an image too. And next week, if you're doing that, I'll show you how I'll show you a few features next week, like upvoting or uploading images. So I'll show you how you could add an image to a thing, so you don't have to worry about the image upload part for now. But how could you turn what we have into, a pin? You could create an entirely new scaffold for pins, and give it very similar, columns like text for content. Give it a user, or if you want it to be like a story, like a submission people like they upload to Reddit. You could do it like, here, I'll give an example. Rails generate scaffold. Maybe it's submission, and a submission has a title of a string, and it has URL, which is a string. So maybe this is something where people submit websites, for example, or it could also possibly have content as well, and that could be text. So I want you to get creative. You can either create this from scratch and have it be alongside the tweet that we created, or you can actually turn the tweet into the resource we want to. And if you do that, you'll have to figure out, well, how do you rename the table? There's probably a migration you can create that'll actually rename the tweets table and call it a pin, or call it a submission, or call it a story, or something like that. So that's the challenge for this week. Is I want you to create the resource you need inside of your app. I want you to actually go into Bootstrap, into their components, not tables. Bootstrap 4's components. Oops, Bootstrap 4, and play around with getting the look to be kind of how we want it to look. So maybe it's tables, or maybe it's you can use cards are a really good component. You can use these cards to make things look a certain way. You can use panels or jumbotrons, all sorts of really cool things that you can use to get the look that you want to get. So that's it for this week. And if you are doing tweets, if you are just building Twitter, I still want you to add in another resource anyway, just to get in the habit. So it could be a story, or it could be a pin, or something like that. Like duplicate the steps or add something in there. So basically, create another resource inside your app, and think about what are the properties that you want that resource to have. Of course, resources can be related to each other as well. Don't forget that. You can have, so far I've showed you that a tweet belongs to a user, and a user can have many tweets, but you could theoretically have tweets that also have something else associated with them. Your other objects can be related to each other. So give that a shot, submit, see what you come up with. I'm looking for something that is thoughtful, and that has the styling of whatever it is that you're trying to build. And check out the Submit Assignment tab below for more details on that.